Let's finish up posing our extremes. Based off of the storyboards, the next pose is where the character has successfully stood upright with the weight above his head. So we'll move on to that now. Let's go to frame 160. And on 160, we'll just select the center of gravity control and the barbell control. And let's translate the character forward some so that he's more aligned with this forward right foot, because he is going to be stepping forward. And we'll also move him a little bit more to his right and upward. Okay, probably back a little bit more because we want to keep him balanced too. Then we'll take this left foot and start moving it forward and more into the body there. And then plant his foot, so putting a value of 0 for the raised ball. For the heel pivot, let's go ahead and have the foot pointed out into a more comfortable natural stance. Probably bring it in some more. For this right foot, let's go ahead and adjust the heel pivot too, so the heel is also pointed outward. And we definitely need to adjust the knees, so we'll select the knee controls, translate them out some, and this left knee control out a little bit more and bring it up and over. Okay, for the hips, since that left foot has come forward, we can now zero out our channels, our rotate channels for the hips. And I like to straighten his back up a little bit more, so we'll select the center of gravity and just rotate it back slightly. And I want to give his knees a little bit less bend. But before that, since we did rotate the back as we did, we need to also adjust our barbell some, so we'll just translate that back slightly as well. And now we can work on getting the legs a little bit straighter. So with the barbell control selected, just shift select the center of gravity control and translate the character up like that. We want to make sure that he is balanced. Think about there is fine. So it's just about there. I think with the head, I think we can adjust the head some. So we'll select that and let's rotate it down some and forward as well. We'll translate it forward in the Z. Okay, and scrub through to see if we like the motion that we're getting. Okay, so there's our pose with the character standing upright. And we can now move on to our last pose, which is the victory stance. So for that, let's go and let's have that on frame 182. Okay, because we're going to want a little bit of space. We're going to want to have the character hold this pose for a little bit longer to really show off that he's finally accomplished this major task. So we'll go to frame 180 and pose out our victory pose there. And for one, let's go ahead and take the center of gravity control, our feet controls, and also our knee controls. And let's go ahead and translate them back some, because we're going to have the character step back when throwing the weight back, and then we'll scrub through to see if we like the spacing at which he's going to be stepping back. I think a little bit more. Okay, I think that'll be fine. And as far as the barbell, let's select that and let's drop that on the floor now. So we'll go ahead and just have the character release it. Bam, it hits the floor. At about right there. Okay, now we will be going back into FK mode with the arms. So what we want to do first is select our arm IK controls and go to the bar lock channel and put in a value of 0. Then we'll go to our wrist controls and go to our IK FK switch and put in a value of 10, so we can go back to FK mode. Here we go, and we can start posing out our character in his victory stance. And we definitely want this pose to be strong, because it's going to be the last pose the audience sees. So we're going to take it home with this one. So put that out, that arm out, adjust his fist some, and we can adjust his left arm, or his right arm, excuse me. Definitely bring down his scapula here and back some. Then we'll take his arm and Bring that back as well. Also adjust his wrist. Okay, so we're going to keep it similar to what we have on our storyboards. Let's see. Let's have his chest come forward a little bit more and back. And also rotate his center of gravity back. We also want to keep in mind that he's probably pretty tired after doing what he has done, lifting that heavy weight. So his pose isn't going to be as strong as it could be if he hadn't done it. So we do want to keep that in mind. So everything again will look believable, but we have a strong pose coming out. Then we can take his chest control and rotate it in the direction we need to with this left arm forward, maybe back some. Then we could take his head control and point it more facing towards the his front. Perhaps he's doing this in front of an audience. And we do want to keep in mind the line of action and silhouette as well. So for this arm, we could definitely adjust it so we get a nicer silhouette with this left arm too, or this right arm, excuse me, this right arm. And let's see, what else? Maybe I like him a little bit more bird chested sticking out, because we do want to keep in mind his personality too. So we want to go ahead and pose him based off of that. Maybe bring him forward some and then rotate him back a little bit more and give him some bend in the knees. Maybe even adjust his fist here. Let's see. Let's go ahead and hide the nerves curves and really focus on the pose to see if it's as strong as we want it to be. How about we take his head control and rotate it, just tilt his head just to give him a little bit more personality in his victory pose and give him some lean too. That side. Then we can adjust this left arm a little bit more, I think. And for his right fist, we can adjust that too. For the left arm, let's see, bring that up a little bit more. Okay, so I think our victory pose is looking pretty good. Maybe we could take this scapula and bring it a little bit more forward, so his fist is right out in front of him. And take this left arm, or this right arm, excuse me, and then bring it down some. Okay, so I'm liking that pose. I think it's a pretty cool victory pose for what he's managed to do. So with our poses set in place, what we can now do is a play blast to view the timing at which our actions are occurring. So let's adjust our range slider back to our first frame, and we'll slightly adjust our end frame here so that it's a little bit after our last pose. Okay, and I actually have a little mail button that I'm going to use for play blast since I'm going to be play blasting often. So let me go ahead and pause the video and bring that up. And here it is. So we'll just find a nice view to play blast from. Let's see. We want one that's going to give us a nice silhouette too. I think about here is fine. So I'll go ahead and render this animation out for you. And here it is. So we've got some cool poses in here, and we've completed posing out all of our extremes, but if we notice, the timing is definitely off. So that completes this lesson, and in the next lesson what we're going to do is work on fixing the timing of when our actions occur.